Hi, I'm Dick Rogers. Now I want to make a point about regional government in England. Here we are in Birmingham on the Hagley Road. I say in Birmingham, but actually this side of the road is Birmingham. The other side of the road is in Sandwell. It's part of Smethwick. Well, Smethwick is part of Sandwell. And they're two different local authority areas, as you'll understand, in Birmingham. And yet they're within feet of each other on either side of the road. Now, it's all part of the European constituency of the West Midlands, but they're different local authority areas. They're different local enterprise partnerships. In other words, the government's initiative for how to develop economic life around our country. This side is in the Greater Birmingham and Solihull LEP, GBS LEP. The other side is in the Black Country LEP. And the two don't really talk to each other much. The Black Country doesn't trust Birmingham, and so it's a problem. And I don't think it's a good way to do it. It's not the way Germany or France or Holland or Sweden or Italy or any of the other European countries runs their local government, to have very tiny areas. I know Birmingham is big. You might think that was a typical site, but that is the biggest local authority in the country. All the others are smaller, and some are very small, and too small really to develop the economy of their area. The Birmingham LEP, in which I am placed on this side of the road, it goes up to Burton-on-Trent. It's a big L shape, goes up to Burton-on-Trent that way, and across it goes underneath, below Birmingham, south of Birmingham, all the way across to Kidderminster. But it doesn't go across to the other side of the road, into Smethwick, which is part of Sandwell, which is part of the Black Country. And I think it would be very good if this side of the road and the other side of the road talked to each other. And what I think should happen is that instead of everything being run either from the big central government in London, which keeps control of almost everything, or alternatively the tiny local authorities, we ought to have a tier of government, such as the areas comprised by the European constituencies, in our case the West Midlands, which is not only Birmingham, but it's Wolverhampton to Coventry, but also all the way down to Hereford and all the way up to Stoke. And I think that's a decent size of area, and I should say of course Telford and Shrewsbury across to the Welsh borders. That's the kind of area that you can get a better sense out of if you want to develop the infrastructure and the business life of the area. The other thing is that these LEPs are private sector led, which means that businessmen lead them. Businessmen want to make money. They want to make money for themselves. They may also want to do a good job, which is good, and they may also want to employ people. But I don't think it's healthy to have the development of the country in the hands of privately incentivized businessmen. So I think we should have elected regional government of England for the areas sort of co-determinate with, in other words, the same areas as we have for voting for the European Parliament. And then I think, and also some power for these authorities to keep the income of that area, to develop it. And then there'd be an incentive to develop the economy of each area in a sensible way, which looks after the interests of the rural areas as well as the city, which enables the economic development of the country. What money could they spend? Well, at the moment they're given only a few tens of thousands, which is piffling, peanuts. Lord Heseltine and the government have said that they'll give quite a lot more. But I think what should happen is that the government should instruct the Bank of England to make a judgment whether our country is better, would fare better with more money in circulation. If it would, then the Bank of England should create that money, not borrow it, just create it, which it has the power to do. And it should give it to the government to disburse largely through the regional governments, so that they can get the infrastructure, the training, the scientific research, the business life of each area to thrive. And if there was government money coming through those, everybody would suddenly become interested in them. That's my take on local government. See, there's Welcome to Birmingham. There's the Hagley Road. But Winson Green, I'm not sure, I think that's in Birmingham. City Hospital is just about in Birmingham. But if you go round any more, those houses there are in Sandwell, in Smethwick, and part of the Black Country LEPs area. Those houses there are in the Greater Birmingham Solihull LEP, which goes all the way up to Burton-on-Trent and all the way south across below the Black Country across to Kidderminster.